1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Probando, probando.
Yep.
En los años 1600, tun, 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 cuando el tirano mandó. Right.
Yeah, it picked up. I don't know what you said, but I'll assume it was something cool. Seven. You are episode 7. Okay.
Lucky 7.
Lucky number 7. That's right. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Spice Cabinet. We are on episode lucky number 7. I'm joined here by artist and webtoon creator PanelaDaddy. It is wonderful to have you on, sir. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you very much for the invite. I'm very, very happy to be here. I've been looking forward to this point of the week all my week. So it's really just I'm peaking here. I'm peaking. Really happy. Really happy.
That's great. I'm glad you're happy to be here. I'm glad to have you. You are actually the first guest on here on this show that isn't
Wow.
somebody that I already know. All the prior
Wow.
guests have been people I've been friends with for a couple years now. So I'm excited to have you on. You're a first for this show.
Thank you. And a new friend.
Yeah,
Friend. Count me
exactly.
as a new friend.
Exactly. Now that you're here, I've made a new friend. So previous statement doesn't apply. But why don't you, since you're here and we're just starting, why don't you tell the people, just a little rundown of who you are, what you're working on, and all that good stuff.
Sure. I used to work as a librarian. I still have that little hat on my closet. I moved to the States recently. I'm from Colombia, Tierra Querida. And I always loved the digital arts. So as soon as I got out of my job and I came here, I thought, well, why not a career change? And I started to work on webtoons. Right now, I have a small project called 1 Hour More, which is kind of more autobiographical than anything. But I have also two other works I'm like currently baking on the oven. I love sci-fi. I am kind of like a nerd for like Star Trek, Star Wars. I'm kind of like writing historical materialism, science fiction, fully automated gay space socialism. Do you get my vibe?
Yeah, that's an interesting set of genres you got going on with. But so is that sort of
A
like
lot of
writing?
intersections.
Is that writing for a story you wish to tell?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've been having this story for 2 years. It's about a possible future for humanity. I was like thinking, we have sci-fi. There's a lot of sci-fi, but I've not seen Colombian sci-fi so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Okay.
started to write, how do I imagine my own hometown in the year 3000, kind of like in Futurama settings. Do you get it?
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
that has to snowboard a lot.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I'm very excited to see that actually come to fruition when you start illustrating and putting it out.
Yeah,
I have read through all of your current webtoon, the more
thank you.
like you said, the autobiographical one,
Mm,
biographical. That's the word.
yeah, it's
And
just me doing silly things.
yeah, that's and I like stuff like that. There's a lot of webtoons out there that sort of thrive on sharing just the personal thoughts of the creator. First one that pops in my head is that creator Owl Turd Comics. That
I've read
guy,
that too.
yeah,
Yeah, he's fun.
he's gotten through the years huge a following just from doing that. So, but what I really like about yours when I read through it is you've got a really striking use of color. You're not
Thank you.
afraid to really play around with the colors, the composition, and change things just for the visual appeal of it. And yeah, if you guys, I'll put a link in it in the description. But if you guys want to check out PanelaDaddy's webtoon called 1 Hour Plus, That'll be down there. Really good use of color and layout, and a lot of interesting introspective thoughts into his brain. And hopefully, after this spice cabinet, you'll be interested to see what he's thinking about more through that comic.
And you'll make me really happy. Really, really happy.
Yeah.
Make my day.
Yeah. Exactly. You'll make his day. What more could you ask for? Is there any particular sort of sci-fi things that you like? Maybe is that a topic you want to start with for drawing?
That would be fun. That would be fun, actually. I love spaceships.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up with my dad just putting Star Trek all day long.
Okay,
The
nice.
living room TV. So I was also actually thinking for my webcomic, it's called Auto Soul,
Mm-hmm.
Automatic Soul. I was thinking all spaceships should be organic, like maybe a whale
So,
living space
like
or a tree living space.
biomechanical.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do that then. Let's do biomechanical sci-fi. We'll
That sounds so cool.
all right. We'll both draw something like that.
I actually have a plan B, so
Okay.
let's put that on the table. I was thinking, well, I'm watching Delicious in Dungeon.
I am too. I am too. I
So
absolutely
cool,
love that
right?
show.
Ugh,
It's great.
so yeah. Ryokoku really does great monsters, and as I've said you, I love the monsters you draw.
Thank you. I appreciate
So
that.
I was thinking maybe if we later we have like a couple of spaceships, we could draw like cute monster girls, cute
Sure.
monster boys.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds really fun.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's start with our sci-fi biomechanical stuff, and then whenever we feel like it, we can move on and do some cool little monsters and stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds like all things in my forte that I love to draw.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about sci-fi?
Oh, I love it, man. Sci-fi is one of my favorite. Sci-fi is very broad, but like I love dystopian sci-fi settings. If my comic is in that setting, it's set like well over 100 years into a very different dystopian future. I love the setting. I love the concepts it can bring with a story. So yeah, we're definitely in the same boat of interests in that regard.
Same hat.
Yeah, same exact hat. I love that stuff. But I love horror, and I love fantasy, real creepy body horror type stuff. So for my story, Where the Humans Go, I just kind of decided to combine the two into one story, both genres. I have all my creepy fantasy body horror monsters, and I just threw it in a far future dystopian sci-fi cyberpunky setting, and so yeah, love both of them.
I love both. Yeah. Oof. I want to like buy the Junji Ito collection. Man's amazing, really.
Oh yeah, his work's great.
Yeah. I love the Tomie especially. Such a girl boss. Such a girl boss. But actually, I'm really interested in like the part of monsters becoming human and human becoming monsters. I love that division. That's why I've been vibing so much with Dungeon Meshi. Such a great story. If you have the opportunity to read the manga is great.
I've been only watching the show, but ever since I've caught up with it to the latest episode, I've been thinking that I really probably will pick up the manga at some point. Because I also watched a video on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll put it up on screen. It was about some artist. She was going over the different, like the wonderful character design of Dungeon Meshi, and like I just love the variations of character designs, and like the author really put the time into like writing a whole ecosystem for the dungeon, which I think is super interesting and something I haven't really seen from fantasy before.
right?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
like that. There was a recent episode, not a spoiler, where there was one of the characters, Marcille. She and Falline were talking about, you know, just the whole ecosystem of it and how like the ecosystem of nature is is like pretty much the same as it is in the dungeon, just different. And I was like, that's so fucking
Mm-hmm.
cool. I have never like seen anyone explore that in a fantasy setting before.
Right.
Yeah.
I really love that scene too because the scene is about like thinking of the dungeon like a biome, right?
Mm-hmm.
And usually when you world build, you look outside, like the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But then Ryokokui look at the microscopic picture. What if mana
Exactly.
was actually little tiny microscopic beings?
Yeah. No, it's super interesting. It's like it. The world building is very specific. You know, it's not really talking about the world building of the entire fantasy setting of the story. It's just here's the dungeon, here's how it operates, and this is basically what it's all about. At least as far as I'm into the show, I don't know if it branches out beyond that in the series as a whole.
It has a lot of surprises for you.
Yeah,
I know you will enjoy it.
I imagine the show has already surprised me a lot. Because in the beginning, I was uh, I was a little worried when I first started watching because they were talking about like I think it was they were specifically saying about their first deaths or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
a part of me was like, oh, does that just mean there's like no stakes in the show? Like a character can't die because they're gonna like respawn like a video game, and then they reveal that's not actually how it works. It's literally just that the dungeon won't let your soul leave your corpse if you die.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
it
That's
is.
it's like
It's kind of scary.
yeah, no, it's very scary, but it also immediately like hooked me even more into the show. Because until then, I was just like, oh, okay, so it's just kind of like a dumb fun show. And then when they brought that point up, I was like, oh no, there's a lot more to the world building here than I gave it credit for.
It is. There is a lot of depths in that dungeon,
Mm-hmm.
and I love really the world building aspect. If you give me anything with a great world building, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Really hooked.
Oh yeah, for sure. And not only the world building is great, but also the characters are really good.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I think everybody. I don't think there's a single character that I disliked. Um, like Senshi is really interesting. The main character guy is interesting. I forgot his name. Laos.
Mm-hmm.
Chili. I like Chili Chuck. He's just like a little fucking guy walking around. He's like,
Like,
I don't fight. I just pick locks. So
yeah. If I was like somebody, if I was in that setting, I would probably be kind of like chill. Just leave me work my work, okay?
yeah, just let me do my thing. You guys get your hands dirty. I'm gonna sit back. Um, very much, I see a lot of like D&D sort of inspired stuff in it, which is neat.
And besides that, I think that's like a good cop out for no, not a cop out. Sorry, um, a good method to writing characters in any setting.
Hmm.
Right, you have to think of them like in a party, right?
Hmm.
Because I've seen authors that kind of use characters as come and go. Just yeah, we need a conflict today, so we're going to write a conflictive person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah,
You see?
that can be an issue with a lot of stories, where characters are sort of only used as like they're more caricatures than they are actual characters. Like they're kind
Yeah,
of
devices.
they don't go beyond their stereotypes. And when writing stories, like if you want to have like you said a character that creates conflict, all right, that's like level one. That's like your starting point. Now you have to go into the why. Like, why does this character create conflict? What do they believe in? What do they not believe in? Sort of, what's their philosophy on this part of the world and that part of the world? And like, there's so many facets that go into making them who they are. And to stay topical, like with Delicious in Dungeon, like sometimes the conflicts between the characters always arise because of their pre-established writing. Like Laos, his like he was established day one to be fascinated with monsters and their biology and like eating them and all that shit. Like he loves monsters. It's like his personal little passion. And sometimes that leads to conflict because he lets his like love, like his passion for monster biology to get in the way of like the mission or whatever, and it creates some issues. But sure, but it was like it's consistent with his character, and so you watch that and you go like, yeah, that I could totally believe that's something Laos would do. That's just good character writing.
It is, and you're going to have such fun with the manga later.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I'll. I don't know if the first season's done. I think there might be one episode left if it's going by typical anime release schedule. I don't know if they're going past 13, but after the first season's done, I'll probably just end up picking up the manga and I'll start reading it because I really like it so far.
Which is a pity, actually. I kind of miss the days when animes would go for 56 episodes.
Yeah, that's kind of why I love. Another reason why I love another show. I don't know if you've watched it called Freerin. Yeah. Like I think it's at 27, 28 episodes now. I was like, damn, you don't see that anymore. Like, I don't see most like shows or even like animes anymore going up to 24, 25 episodes a season.
Right.
Especially,
it's just getting better.
Yeah, and it's especially a show that's not like a battle shonen. You know, like some shonen usually get like a shit ton of episodes, but you know, shows like Freerin usually don't get that much. But I'm glad it is because that's also a really good creative fantasy show. For different reasons.
Yeah, I think they're catching up. That if you make everything just 12 seasons in season, it's kind of fast fashion like, you know? So people really don't get committed to it. It will just pass as next season.
Yeah.
And there's this one anime that I really think that the opportunity was totally wasted because it really had evergreen content. And it's this little piece called Blood Blockade Battlefront, or how is it called in Japanese? In Weeaboo? Oh my god, I forgot the name in Japanese. Hold on. This calls for a Google search.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Kei Sensei, I think. Yeah. Kei Sensei, that's it. It's about a disaster in the city of New York that brings all kind of monsters together, and it was kind of episodic in nature, but it had a plot ongoing. It was really good. It had one season. The first season was really plot cohesive. The second season was episodic as fuck, and I think that really threw it under the bus because I think if it was like one entire 24 episode seasons, it would go so far. Like it would be so memorable, but the time it passed between seasons, like it was a full 2 years.
Oh, geez.
People lost interest.
Yeah,
people lost interest.
That can be an unfortunate reality of a lot of anime because like I feel like not a lot of anime are gonna, or just shows or in general are gonna have that sort of like Attack on Titan experience where they release one episode and then what was it, like 4 or 5 years, or not one episode, one season, and it was like 4 or 5 years before season 2 came out, and it still hit, you know, explosive popularity because the first season was just that big. It was just that popular.
Yeah. It really became popular.
Yeah.
Which I love, really. The manga has great artistry, but you don't usually see it every like adapted completely. That's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. We are kind of not used to it, but I think it's going to be more common today. Not only because like people really want to get more invested in characters. I think it's because the streaming kind of distribution system, that's a plus of the distribution system.
Yeah.
You can get people hooked. You just have to like secure production.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
if if you had the opportunity, would you like to see your work animated?
Oh, absolutely. I think I mentioned this in, I forgot one of the episodes. But my dream is to adapt my work into an animated series. I would love to to do that. That is definitely something I want to happen for sure.
Dream big, dream
Yeah.
big,
Yeah.
really fucking go for it.
That's the plan.
You see a lot of indie animation stuff going around, and that's great.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Very, very happy to see so many sort of indie, small, like animated series getting made. Recent one, well, it was like Has Been Hotel. Then there was that other one that came out recently with the Digital Circus one. That one hit super big. So it's like I'm glad to see more indie creators getting the spotlight. And part of that is because Hollywood's been kind of dropping the ball a lot.
For sure.
Like the shit that's been coming out in theaters has not been worth people's money for the most part. There's been some really good stuff here and there, but most of it, like, I don't know if it's controversial to say, like, I think, like, compared to any other era of movies, like this past maybe few years, maybe 10 years, I don't know, might be like the worst I've seen out of mainstream media in a long time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like movies
I
in
agree.
movies in the 2000s and 90s, like there were some stinkers, but like not to the degree of shit like Multiverse of Madness or like the recent Marvel movies. Like you wouldn't go to the movies and see something on the level of like the Marvels writing something that horrible.
Yeah, you're totally right, and that's it. It kind of became a sludge,
Yeah.
It's just pumping, 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 pumping. That kills the creativity
It's
machine.
Yeah, absolutely, just sludge. That's definitely what it is. It's just sewage they want to keep pumping out to make money. And with not really a whole lot of care for the artistry.
Yeah.
Which is, it's one of those things where it's like if you actually watch behind the scenes interviews for some of like the recent big Disney or Star Wars or like Marvel projects, the way they talk about the movies they're making and stuff, it's like it doesn't sound like they have any sort of passion for it at all.
Yeah, it sounds like they stopped having fun.
Yeah,
that's really sad. That's really sad because you only get into this field if you're really passionate about it.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's why you should. I feel like if you're gonna get into one of the most competitive but least rewarding sort of industries in the world, you should have a passion for it, right?
You should, for sure.
Like, if you don't have passion, you might be better off, in a more stable job that you don't need to have passion for. Because the thing about the arts is it's not stable at all. Even if you're high profile, like that shit can, like at any point can go sour on you, and suddenly you're out of a job, no matter how big you are.
Yeah, it's proven. It's proven day and day again that the thing that people want to do, if you want to do art and if you want to do anything, right? You're going to go for your passion, and that's going to be your evergreen content.
Yeah.
But corporations don't care about that.
No.
And that really becomes kind of like the stalemate point. Okay, so I am kind of a history fucking nerd.
Yeah.
So that's like the point of material. Yeah, what's this called? That's a problem of speaking Spanish as a first language and translating it to English. Like,
no, that's good. Just go through with it. I'm a smart lad. I could probably figure it out even if you don't know all the words.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a theory called historical materialism, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of goes like if you have a human population and it has like two distinct realities that cannot conform, like, yeah, people want to work in the arts,
Yeah.
but the work in the art industry is not creative enough,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those two realities go into a contradiction, and it kind of becomes a fight.
Mm.
Like you saw it last year in the Writers Guild protest,
Yeah, the
like,
writer strike.
yeah, which was so fucking cool. I love that for them.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta support it. You gotta support it. It becomes a contradiction that goes into more revolutions, more revolutions, more revolution. The wheel keeps churning and churning and churning, and finally it spits something that's a synthesis, not the first condition or the second condition, but something new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my theory here with the arts is that we are going to go further and further and further, leaving behind Hollywood and the big industry because it doesn't really represent what the artists want to do
Mm-hmm.
or what the people want to consume.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It's
Yeah.
and it's pretty clear too that like I think Hollywood is starting to understand that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely noticed, more and more people just kind of like moving away. Like people are finally starting to catch up to how shitty like the MCU is. I keep going back to the MCU because it's like the prime successful example of like mainstream sludge because it wasn't always bad,
No,
There
were some good movies.
There was some really really good stuff in there. But once Disney found out that like they thought, hey, it seems like no matter what we put out, these people are gonna fucking pay for it. So just mass produce it on a huge scale, hire
Let's
screenwriters.
keep the feeding Sludge,
Yep.
right?
Exactly. Let's just keep going and going. It's gonna keep making money, right? And then now it's not. Like now on like every project they put out isn't getting the numbers they want. It's not getting the numbers they expected. So now like I'm curious to see what companies like Disney are gonna do to sort of churn that wheel and like to be like, okay, we can't just keep putting out bullshit, that we think is gonna sell. We gotta actually change our game up a little because like there's other platforms like HBO Max, that has some pretty good stuff on there.
It's decent, yeah.
And like you have stuff like on HBO Max, like shit. What was that one show? Scavenger's Reign. Like despite it being on Max, like that's like pretty indie. Very interesting show. If you like sci-fi, I don't know if you've watched it. If you like,
I already jolted on in a notebook. I'm watching it later.
Yeah,
With popcorn and all the shit.
If you like sci-fi and monsters and stuff, that's I would say you'd enjoy that a lot. It's pretty neat stuff in there. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think Hollywood is like they're kind of imploding right now because like all these indie projects are getting made. All these like lesser known IPs and creators are coming out and getting more recognized, and it's happening everywhere. Even in the video game industry, it's happening right now. Like just people are tired, I think, of like the typical bullshit from mainstream media in every genre now.
Yeah.
There's like that shit with Lethal Company like outselling the new Call of Duty last year.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, how the Lethal Company is, what was it, $10? That thing, $10 made by one furry on the internet, outsold.
So happy. So happy.
I love that. I saw that. I was
Yeah.
like, fucking
So happy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you deserve it because it's a really, to that one guy who made it. It's a good fucking game. I have a lot of fun playing with my friends. But like stuff like that is happening. The same thing with like Helldivers 2. It was produced by Sony, sure, but it was also made by like originally an indie sort of AA studio. And like nobody's talking about the big companies. Everyone's talking about these smaller games like that, Pal World, you know.
Yeah.
So it's happening everywhere now, not just the movie industry. And I'm happy to finally fucking see it because I like seeing actually creative, interesting works come out from people.
And it's going to keep happening.
Yeah.
If you think about it, Disney has like 100 years already, right?
Hmm.
Let that mouse die.
Yeah,
He
please.
deserves retirement, right?
I think
If
he
Mickey
does.
Mouse cannot retire, what's waiting for us?
Yeah. I
Oh
think
my.
it's time for that mouse to. He needs to rest. Even the Disney parks aren't doing great. Like, um, their whole like. I know that's like more old news, but like their Star Wars world, nobody really cares about it or talks about it.
Dude, the Sims 4 had an expansion for that, and it was just an entire advertisement for that park, and it
Jesus
blew. It
Christ.
blew.
Yeah, it's bad, and the obvious reason is we all know why it failed. It's because they decided to model the entire thing after the sequel trilogy, and not
Mhm.
the OT or the prequels. So everybody who went thinking they were gonna see, you know, stormtroopers and Darth Vader and Obi-Wan walking around, it's like, I don't care about, like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna be excited to go to Star Wars when we be like, oh, I can't wait to see some actress playing Rey. I can't wait. I can't wait to see Poe Dameron.
I was actually excited to see Poe Dameron if it was with Finn, but that didn't happen because they don't have the creativity to subvert tropes like that,
Mm-hmm. I
and that happens.
I just I just don't like. I don't think there's a single character I actually like from the sequel trilogy, except
That's right, and that's poison
I,
for every creator that
yeah,
the people say, I don't care about your people. I
yeah,
don't care about your characters.
that is legit. Yeah, you're right. That is actually the worst thing you can probably have in a story, because even if your story has like kind of bad world building, or it has too much, or like a lot of examples of like plot armor and the plot doesn't make any sense, if you have really 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 good characters that are written well, like 9 times out of 10 people are gonna latch on to it.
It
Even,
can sell for sure.
yeah, I'm that way. Like
Yeah.
I can objectively look at something like um, the James Gunn Suicide Squad movie or something. Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a movie
It
like
was
that,
popcorn.
it it was a little, the plot was all over the place and
Yeah.
characters like should have died many times in the movie, but I also really enjoyed the characters and thought they all had, interesting through lines and stories to tell, and they were thematic, and they actually
Hmm.
went on a character journey. So, and they were also funny. Like the comedy worked for me at least. So, even though I know the plot, like in some parts, just doesn't make any damn sense, I'm like, that was a good fucking movie. That was fun. I could watch that again.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, that's the principle behind the Latino concept of chisme, you know?
Hmm.
They can be the most boring people, whatever. They can be your coworkers.
Hmm.
Like, you don't care about their lives in private.
Yeah.
But if it's a good story, you just sit and listen.
Yeah.
That's a
Exactly.
human thing,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my god. And I
Yeah.
love chisme, really. I love chisme. Oh, so yeah, I mean, I think we're going to as storytelling species, because that's what we are.
Yeah.
We're going to spin to that. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to happen in my lifetime, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Definitely. With I'm glad it's happening now when I'm at the ripe old age of 22. I can see hopefully Hollywood maybe burn to the ground a little bit, and then something much better and more creative rise from it, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't I go to the movies rarely anymore. I don't really care about 99% of things that come out. The last thing I watched in theaters was Godzilla -1.
How was it? Did you like it?
I loved it. It was genuinely. I think I've brought this up before, but you know what? Fuck it. It's my show. I do what I want.
Amen.
I'll never stop praising that because like they found a way to finally write in a long time at least a Godzilla film with human characters I genuinely care about. Like I wasn't just there to see Godzilla wreck shit. I was there because the character writing was really good and I was invested to see where they were going. And their stories were very thematically tied to Godzilla himself. So, yeah, definitely high recommend Godzilla -1. It deserves its praise.
I love monsters movies.
Oh yeah,
I love monster movies.
Yeah, it's what monster movies is like. People, it's kind of the thing that kind of bothers me a little bit when people talk about things like Godzilla, where it's like, why do you care so much? It's just some big lizard destroying stuff. Like, turn your brain off. I was like, but you don't have to write it like that. You can write it to where you have the badass big lizard destroying things and have a really, really good story to go along with it. It doesn't have to be just stupid fun.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's where people always go to. Like, it's just like, it's just dumb fun. Like, you know, oh, it's a superhero film. It's dumb fun. It's a monster movie and stuff. But it's like, it can also be smart fun, you know? It doesn't have to all be dumb fun.
And like, what's the problem with dumb fun? I mean, aren't you like ready to disconnect for the work? Dumb fun is great.
Oh, dumb fun is.
Give me man.
I do love dumb fun, but at the same time, it's like for me when I watch something like I don't know, what was it, Godzilla King of the Monsters? That.
Oh yeah, in the islands.
Yeah, the one that came out a few years ago. It's like, don't get me wrong, I loved watching the monsters fight each other, but at the same time, it's like, I couldn't give less of a shit about the humans that were in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, why couldn't you write the humans to be super compelling and good and have the monster stuff? They've got, you know, it's possible.
Tribes, people, yeah, it's been played a lot before. Like I know a hidden tribe in the magical jungle, and it's not it. It's not it. I've seen it before, and I've seen it better with like less CGI effects.
Yeah.
So like, why are you trying to selling that?
Yeah, like the example like now that I can use is Godzilla -1. It's like they had their incredibly badass like Godzilla scenes. Like he's not in the movie the entire time. Right, there's like I think there's entire stretches of like maybe 30 to 40 minutes where Godzilla's not even on screen, but when he is on screen, he leaves such an impact in that film. Like when he does things, it's like it sticks with you so well because they did such a good job at making sure that whenever Godzilla does show up, shit is actually about to go down. Like you're kind of scared, which is how I think it should be. But you also get the, you know, my monkey brain goes like, haha, big lizard.
Look. Yeah.
So
I'm so big for Return of the Monkey.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely be in theaters for Godzilla vs. Kong. Or Times Kong. I guess they're like the buddy cop monster movie.
They have a story of being together. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, you told me you're 22, so maybe you don't remember this game. Have you played Rampage for, I think, was the PS1?
I've heard of it. I know of it. I think, did they have one on, like, the PS2?
I think they had. I mean, I
never owned a PS1. The first PlayStation I had was a PS2. So.
Great fun. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
The game was you're a monster and you're destroying the city, and it's so fun. It's like pixel art and shit.
Okay.
But I think we really connect to that idea of big monsters.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a cool concept to play around with. I think nowadays the way it's used is a little not super creative anymore. Like I really love movies. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen Cloverfield?
Greatest movies.
It's one of the best monster movies ever made. It's so fucking
Yeah.
cool. Um, Super interesting way to like present a monster film. And when I heard they were making like sequels to it, I was kind of excited. And then the sequels actually came out. I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, you can like go back to I didn't need this. My own brain theories were better
Yeah,
because it didn't have the same feeling.
yeah,
It
no,
really didn't capture the theme. The theme that we are looking is like what monsters that big would be kind of like a natural disaster.
mm-hmm. And that's how they presented it. And then they like they turned. I don't know why or how they turned a found footage monster film into a multiverse series. I don't know why that
Uh,
was what they decided to do. Like, you already had it. You had the perfect thing to keep going with, and now you're turning this into like you're trying to create some insane like interstellar multiverse series of movies, and I don't think it worked out for their benefit.
mhm. Kind of like the Blair Witch Project. They had it, they struggled the first time. They just had to find a new vehicle for that theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the exact same problem we were before, like the disconnection between the big thing of Hollywood. Like they see, oh my god, they made so much cash,
Yeah.
cold hard cash.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get the feedback of people.
Yeah. They see the money they make and they're like, oh, so that just means what I'm doing is right. I don't need to actually pay attention to what people are drawn to or like why what I made was good. I just need to keep doing
Mhm.
whatever the fuck I want, and it'll pay off because I'm me,
Mhm.
and look how much money I made.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, the greatest feedback, signaler you can have as an artist is what your fans make out of your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if like Hollywood had a whole department just reading fan fiction,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure
that
they would have
would
to. They would
be
have to. Oh God, I don't even want to think about like what they would have to go through.
poor
Like, don't
guys.
get me wrong, I don't like Hollywood either, but I don't know if I want to subject them to that.
I'm sure like you could hire people and that could be the dream job of some people.
They get just like, oh my God, I get to read fan fictions all day.
Yeah, I mean fan fiction librarian, yeah. I could get hired on that for sure, for sure. Where do
uh,
I send my resume?
yeah, I remember. I don't know if you've watched Amazing World of Gumball. They had a
Love that.
whole episode dedicated to like the shipping and the fan fictions that the community created over the years.
Yeah.
And I
If
heard
I close
like
my eyes, I can see the drawing.
yeah, like I heard they actually went and found the real like fan art and fan fictions people made.
Sick.
It's just fucking funny. But like I don't even want to
Yeah.
imagine what they had to read to get what they could to put it on TV for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yeah, because go on ahead.
No, I was just like, even though it's a kids show, I think we all know that people they'll take a children's show and they'll put some weird sexual fantasies into it.
Yeah, Rule 34. If there's something in the internet, eventually there's going to be porn of it in
Yeah.
the internet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's such a human part. I'm not sure what. I kind of am like an alien myself. I don't really vibe with the idea of bumping uglies.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's normal. Like, people will take stories and, they'll want to, like, spin their own narratives from it. And it's usually never a thing out of spite. Like, usually fan fictions are made out of love for the thing they're making fan fiction for.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, even though sometimes it can get a little like weird for my personal taste, it's like at the same time, at least they're doing it because they like it.
Mm-hmm. If I ever have, like, if I when not if.
Yeah, when
That's
you
just a
keep it.
thing.
It's a.
When,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, when. A good success indicator for me would be they make porn of my character. Like, love that for you. I'm not going to share it, but love that for
Yeah,
you.
it's like you do you. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see it.
Yeah, and it's
And
probably not going to be a joke for somebody.
no, it's definitely not. And I'm gonna be like, well, you know, I'm glad you're liking it. I'm glad you enjoy it. Don't show me that again.
Yeah, keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
Show me once, but keep it to yourself.
Exactly.
If I like it, I'm going to save it. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a great success indicator. If people really think of your character so much that they invest there, I'm glad. I'm really glad.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
there's great things that have started because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are not going to put Stephanie Meyer on blast because that has been done,
Mm-hmm.
but it started as fan fiction, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a great thing about the human mind. Like, if I can go like in a bit of a nerd thing again,
Yeah, go ahead, man.
that's the human organ of memory. Okay, it's the only organ that doesn't have like a physical thing, but it's a human organ,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a shared thing. The thing is, animals don't have memory as we have, they just have retentive memory, but we have documental memory. We can like record something to watch it later and extract information from it, and that's a whole different evolution of the human brain.
Yeah.
But as of recently, the inventor of radio doesn't have like 200 years dead.
The what? Sorry.
The inventor of radio, like the guy who invented the first radio.
Oh, radio. What
Yeah,
what about
sorry
him?
for that.
No, no, it's okay. It's all good.
He doesn't have 200 years dead.
Oh, okay.
The radio just has like 136, I think, years invented. Like before that, hearing a voice of another human that was far away,
Mm-hmm.
it was impossible.
Yeah.
We just haven't had the time to adapt it to our brains.
Yeah.
And that's wicked cool. I mean, if we think it down along the road, if we keep that thing evolving, maybe we could like integrate it back to our human brains. That's such sci-fi shit. I love that idea.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, we only have the capacity to store like about 150 social data clusters.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. It's called the Dunbar number. If you want to watch it later, like you, listener, you Curly, the Dunbar number. We only remember like a village of people, and if we need another person, it gets overridden.
Mm-hmm.
Think if you remember high school, you remember at the time all your classmates' names, all your teachers' names,
Yeah.
right? But right now, maybe you remember 2 or 3.
Man, it's probably less than that for me. I don't remember fucking anybody from high school. Which is weird because some of my friends seem to remember everyone, but me, I'm like, who are you talking about? It's like, and they're like, what do you mean? You had class with them for 3 years. I was like, sorry.
Yeah, it's not relevant data anymore.
Yeah.
Why would I remember that bitch?
Yeah.
And it's that, yeah, we get overridden. And that's
Mhm.
great because that means that people that are relevant in your life keep being relevant in your life.
Oh yeah.
But that's bad because we actually became kind of like, we are becoming the singularity event,
Mhm.
which is great. I love being in historical times.
Yeah.
I
Alright.
think I'm done with these
Yeah,
guys.
I was just about to say I'm gonna look over and see fully what you made.
Oh, you're zoomed in. I was drawing zoomed out, and how
Yeah.
is he getting such crisp lines?
I-
I'm
yeah.
impressed.
I like to draw zoomed in because I like to kind of save what my guest is drawing till they're ready. Look at that. These like that's fucking cool. They're like big like bugs.
Yeah, I love bugs. Bugs are
Yeah,
great.
that's
So
fucking
these
cool.
guys are kind of like spaceships,
Mm-hmm.
but I was thinking from my own thing, like building things on Earth and sending them to space is so expensive. What if we made bugs that could live in space and they are kind of like spaceships?
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to worry about getting humans up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But this thing lives in space and can breathe in space, and yeah, just an organic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fucking cool. I
What
like it.
about your thing?
Uh, I mean, I kind of did one of the same thing. I had this like weird little like centipede crab thing flying through the air. Um, and then I had this like big sort of like walker. Um, just kind of just whatever comes to mind. I like skulls, so for the first one I started with a little skull, and then
Hmm.
just kept working with it. Gave it a long neck, made it kind of like a turtle like creature. So
Yeah, he looks wise. He looks
yeah,
like a person I would ask advice to.
yeah, and like it's got a little structures attached to them where you can see people. Um, and then like little crab thing has like a little sack where kind of like a little viewing thing down there where people can see. So
It's really cool.
thank
It's
you.
really cool. I love that for that.
Yeah.
They really seem like lived in, and I love the line weight. I really should have some more.
No, no, yours are still cool. I tend to go a little too much with the lines sometimes. Like I just add a bunch of unnecessary hatching that don't really need to be there sometimes. But I love hatching, so
It gives them depth. It really has a lot of depth,
thank
and
you.
I really love like the little glove at the end of the tail. Like I imagine, yeah, we need like this thing can move its tail, but what if it had a hand at the end?
Yeah, I could like grab stuff, get move
Yeah.
things. So
So cool. I love them so much.
thank you. Yeah, I love your little bug. So does he have
Yeah.
like are those like wings for and like when it actually enters an atmosphere or something to like go move through the air?
Yeah, if you think you can move in space with minimal resistance,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the best things to propose yourself would be like electrical motors and
Hmm.
sails. Actually, if you watch Planet of the Treasure and the Treasure Planet, basically,
I don't know.
with
I've never seen it.
the Disney movie with John Silver and
Oh, treasure. Did you say Treasure
Treasure Planet.
Planet? Okay, yeah,
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 Treasure
yeah.
Planet. Solar wind sails. That's such a great concept for
Hmm.
space.
Yeah.
So the thing is, whenever it's like on a situation where it needs to conserve body mass, it retracts the wings.
Okay.
Yeah, and whenever it needs like to glide and plane, it just gets out, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Um, I love how your bug has little people in it. I
Oh, thank
imagine
you.
my bug has little people in it too.
Yeah, I can imagine like in the little eyes. I can
Yeah.
imagine that being like a place where people can actually be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, super cool. So we've got our cool biomech stuff. What was the next one? Like little fantasy monsters.
Yeah. Let's go with some. Oh, what do you want? What do you want to do?
Hmm. Well, we could stay topical. What if we maybe we could go with our own like dungeon monsters? Something that we could make that would be in a dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds fun. That
Awesome.
sounds great, actually.
All right.
Yeah. You just put on the new canvas.
Oh no, we're just gonna do it here, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've got space. We're gonna use it. If you like, you can
Yeah.
like just kind of select all yours and kind of just if it gets in
Size
your
it
way.
down.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to size it down a little bit.
Cool. Yeah.
Have you had guys playing Gartic Fun with you here?
No, but that is a plan that I wish to do on Spice Cabinet. So for all you watching, yeah, I have plans to do Gardic Phone with fellas on here one of these days.
Sign me in. If you have me, sign me in.
Sounds
That's
great.
so fun. I love
Maybe
that.
Maybe we can do something with the Taddy Inc. Discord. Um,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of great artists on there. So a couple of them are going to be on future episodes of Spice Cabinet. Got them on the list. So for your comic, do you have like a sort of specific type of story beyond the genre? Like, is it more of like an action? Is it kind of like psychological or like romance or something? Like, what's your plan with it?
Okay, so maybe it's going to be your introduction to the genre
Mm-hmm.
because I've not seen much representation. Like maybe you have,
Mm-hmm.
but have you heard of the term Ijashike?
Say it one more time.
Ijashike.
Ijashi gay.
K.
K.
Yeah,
No, I have not. I don't know what that is.
fun words.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally goes as healing, and it's kind of more like, yeah, things you see to recharge yourself. Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing I was thinking about the story, it's supposed to be a post-capitalist story, but not a post-apocalyptic story.
Okay.
3,000 years in the future, if we make it as humans,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I think we would have had to learn about how to live,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So in that specific scenario, I was thinking, yeah, maybe humanity doesn't like need to go extinct. The story goes about two characters. The first one, Rudy, is a boy born in my hometown city of Bogota, which
Okay.
is the capital of Colombia. Actually, has 11 million people live on it.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's a big
fucking
city.
big.
That is a
Yeah, it's
that's more
not
than
a
I think that's
quaint
more
little hometown.
I think that's more than New York.
Not quite like it. New York's the eighth most dense city on the world.
Mm.
Bogota is the number 30.
Oh, well, New York's like what 20?
Yeah,
Oh, geez, you're right. Yeah, never mind.
a lot of people
I'm
live.
not good at fucking geography.
It's okay. Nobody's going to hate you on
My
this.
brother lived in New York for 3 years, and I don't know that.
It's okay. So I like guess most of Colombia goes into like the quiet autumn of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Like life goes slow. There's some people drinking beer on their like front porches or whatever,
Yeah.
but the big cities still are big.
Mm-hmm.
So this kid lives in Bogota, which has a lot of topical things. It rains a lot. It's high on the mountains. There's cold, but there's also sun, so the climate's going chaotic, right?
Yeah.
This guy is not from Colombia though.
Okay.
He was from the moon. He was like in the stage of people like we live outside in space. We can live comfortable lives in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before the story, there was a big war, and contact from the outside of humanity, outside the Earth, has been cut for like 20 years.
Okay.
And this kid came in just before that.
Oh.
So Rudy is kind of it's he sticks like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And people here in Colombia treat him kind of like an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as communications go back, he is just aching to go outside. He doesn't feel at home here in the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes a mission to go in the first tripulated human colony to the next, the nearest star, which is Alpha Centauri.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the trip goes 40 years, so it's a one-way trip. If you're going out, you cannot go in.
Yeah.
And he's ready for it. But as soon as he steps outside, he becomes struck with the realization that I was an earthling. You know, I lived all my life in this planet, and I even became accustomed to the gravity so much that this is making me sick. I don't know what to do with myself anymore.
Yeah.
Then he knows the second protagonist, which is a veteran from the war.
Mhm.
The same war that cut communications from Earth and space. See, that's the thing. If you talk about your story in like big terms, you lose a lot of details.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the gist.
Okay.
That's the gist of it.
Neat.
It's a story about a little guy finding his teacher and trying to navigate a world that's constantly changing around him.
Yeah, I like that. That's a neat concept for a sci-fi story for sure. Um,
Yeah,
I like that. Very cool.
thank you.
So if you guys want to see updates on that, make sure you go follow his socials. And
Yeah,
uh,
it's PanelaDaddy everywhere.
what's the name of it?
PanelaDaddy.
Say. Oh, you're talking
Uh,
about yourself. I was talking about the comic.
oh yeah,
but
sorry.
yes, Panela Daddy is that's him everywhere. But do you have a name for the comic itself?
Yeah, I am going to name it Automatic Soul, Auto Soul.
Auto Soul. Okay,
Yeah, because
nice.
one of the concepts is that one of the first things we are going to invent, if we can, it's an afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
Like one human life, it's not enough. If you live your 60 years or whatever, and you can like download your mind, you keep one conscious,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you migrate to another body, another more resilient body, of like transmigration of the soul kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you get really tired, you retire to like one of the matrix things,
Mm-hmm.
an automatic soul.
Okay. Yeah, that is definitely a concept that's been I've seen played around with in sci-fi before. You know, the whole idea of if you like upload your brain to a different body, is it still you? Um, that sort of thing. So, very interesting. High concept for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well,
What do you think? Where's the soul on the human?
um, I mean, I don't really think about it that often, but I guess like for me, it's like probably the brain. Well, it's kind of where all our thoughts and memories reside. So to me, that's probably where our quote unquote soul would be.
Think the same. I think the same, but it's also a little bit more because um, you are not only your brain identifying its world, right?
Hmm.
There's also little pieces of you that detect flavor and detect smell. And
Yeah.
if you like only keep the human part, the consciousness about it, it's just become like imagine how it is to being a head in a jar like in Futurama.
Hmm.
You are also your sensorial outputs. I think that's a thing I want to like explore a bit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's very sci-fi, very existential, very Blade Runner esque. So I'm very curious to see where you'll take those concepts in your own story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I was a lot of times, as I told you, yeah, I used to work as a librarian.
Yeah.
Great work, real fun work. All librarians live wild lives. Don't get confused. We are an exclusive club and we don't want to give
No,
all that gossip.
I know a librarian who works at my local library. He's another comic creator, and
Yeah.
he seems to genuinely love his job. So
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm kind of wishing I could like go back for it, but I also want to keep drawing comics for a living as
yeah.
long as I live. Like I had my taste of librarianship.
Hmm.
That can rest a little bit.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just if I could be doing this for the rest of my life, guarantee I would.
Yeah. Mhm. Scrawny dude.
Yeah, he's a he's a little thin.
What's your diet? How you do it? Oh, it's the Egyptian cleanse. I mummified myself.
Well, you see, I
Lost
took out
like
all of my internal organs, and then I poured salt into the open wounds, and then confined myself to a box for 3,000 years. Really simple,
lost
actually.
80 pounds with it. Very effective.
Romans hate him.
So, what's your favorite Souls game?
My favorite. Hmm. It's tough.
Oh, you like them all.
No, I don't. I don't like them all. I haven't even played them all. It's just there are aspects of all of them that I really like. For right now, I mean, I really love Elden Ring. Um, just because I love how open it is, but at the same time, I also think that can be to its detriment a little bit sometimes. But um, my first experience with that game was really well paced. I never felt like I was too OP or too weak for anything. Everything felt really well balanced my whole playthrough. Um, but in terms of setting, I love Bloodborne's setting, like that
Oof.
that dark, super eldritch,
Wait, what happened?
gory thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Elden Ring one is the one that I haven't played,
Hmm.
but I really have it on my backlist whenever I get like a good setup
Yeah,
because I love open worlds.
yeah,
I've
and
played an absurd amount of Skyrim.
I've tried playing Skyrim. I can't get into it personally. I don't know why.
It's kind of dated already.
Yeah, there's aspects of it that's dated, but I can see why people would really like it as well.
Some part of it, it's because the inventory systems without mods, they get
Hmm.
really clunky. It's
Mm.
not fun anymore. I cannot play it without mod.
Hmm.
That is one part of it. But yeah, no, open world systems get me so into it.
Yeah,
Inquisition, Dragon Age Inquisition, could not drop it.
yeah. A good an open world game that really does a good job actually like playing with the idea of being open world. Um,
Mhm.
Seems like there's few games that actually do that. Like a lot of games come out that are quote unquote open world, but a lot of the times
Mhm.
it's just like it's the classic phrase. Wide as an
Yeah, just a
ocean, deep.
gimmick.
Yeah, wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. You've
Yeah.
you've made this really big map, but you've given me nothing, no reason to want to explore it or do anything with it. Which is why I love Elden
Oh.
Ring. I love the fact that I don't have a compass. I love the fact there's no mini map. I love that there's no big golden markers on my screen telling me exactly where I need to go. It
Mhm.
says, "Here's the game. Go and get fucked." And
Yeah.
we're not going to help you. Um, and I love that. I love that I can just go around and see something in the distance and be like, I want to go to that, and I go to it, and it's actually there. It's real. It's not like some fake backdrop I can't actually go to. There's no invisible wall stopping me. Um,
Yeah.
and I love it. The only thing that does bother me about Elden Ring is its quest system, which is it's kind of every Souls game, but it's a lot worse than Elden Ring because like some quests are just basically impossible to do on your own. Like the amount of things you like hoops you have to jump through for some quests to actually beat them is like first you need to go here and then you need to go to like the end game area of the map and then go back to the beginning
Mhm.
area. It's like how the fuck would I ever figure that out on my own? Why would I
Mhm.
ever assume that? Um, so that's my only thing. Like I just wish they would find a way to make the quests more, you know, easy. Just easy to like navigate, not even just like easy to do. Just like give me some kind of hint at where to go next.
Yeah.
So that's my only gripe. But other than that, like the actual exploration, my first experience of that game, I had like 120 hours on my first character. Loved it.
Mhm. I love that when you get immersion and like you really get into the game. I'm really looking forward to whenever I can
Hmm.
get my paws into Elden Ring. I know I'm sinking a good chunk of my time on it.
Yeah. Right now I'm doing there's a mod for it which adds in seamless co-op. So You can
Oh,
play the entire game with co-op with a friend or multiple friends if you want. And me and my buddy have been doing that, and it's a lot of fun because, like, you know how Souls games are, where like you can only summon players during certain areas or boss fights, but the mod makes it to where you can have a friend from the beginning all the way to the end of the game without like in every single part of the game.
I would want that.
Yeah,
Really?
it's a lot of fun. I would always recommend that people's first playthrough of the game is like how it was meant to be played, like sort of designed.
Solo.
Just do it by yourself, solo. I genuinely think that's probably the best way to experience it the first time. But once you've already played it, it's like, well, now I know the game. Let's have some fun. And
Mm-hmm.
on this playthrough, I'm going only bows, so I'm going a full archer, and my buddy's going, just a dexterity build. So it's really fun. Like I've never like I get to play a Souls game as like a support character essentially, which is really fun. So, but big recommends for Elden Ring. It deserved its game of the year.
Yeah. I think yeah, that's one experience you can have with roleplay that I really love,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like why I could not drop World of Warcraft when I was really into it
Mm-hmm.
back in high school. Back in high school, days have long passed,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because yeah, we really yearn for cooperation and playing together with a friend. It's the greatest thing you can do with a game.
Yeah. I love co-op games. I mentioned it earlier, but like Helldivers, I've been playing that with my same friend as well, and that's such a good co-op game. Such a well-made, just robust game where it makes the co-op just like very rewarding to actually do.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to play more games. I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Another thing I'm searching for as an experience,
Mm-hmm.
it's cooperation in art. Like, I
Mm.
really love what you're doing with Spice Cabinet. I'm really going to keep watching it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's definitely the reason I started is because I recently like I love working on my comic and my stories, but like there was a I'm really bad about like texting, so with my own
Mhm.
friends and family. So it's like I can barely keep up with text with my own friends. It's like it's near impossible for me to like keep up with like a Discord server, or people on social media. It's not uh, me. I like talking to people. I like conversations, and um, as Spice Cabinet has shown, like I may not. I seem like a lurker, but in reality, I like talking to people.
Too, as I told you, right? We are social animals, and the thing is that we just don't have the brains to keep all that social information.
Yeah,
So this is great.
yeah. No, I love it. Been having a blast with it. Been having a blast with all the artists that I bring on, and you know, just a opportunity to meet more people, meet new people. This is you and I's first time talking, and it has been so far just a wonderful conversation about art and media and stuff, which is what I always hope for.
Thank you. I'm really having fun too.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of it, right? I done podcasting before,
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's not art centric, art related, and sometimes it feels like it can get like a little bit topical and political, and yeah, I just want to like do drawings.
Yeah, yeah, and that's sort of part of the reason this show exists is like we don't have to get on here and a lot like um the episode 3 of Spice Cabinet, like the whole you were watching it. It's just Winnie the Pooh. That's the theme we went through for the whole
Oh
thing,
yeah, and
and
I have so much Winnie the Pooh trivia.
yeah, and that's me with my IRL friend. We go to college together, and we're just a lot of times we're just talking about like either dumb shit or just funny stories that we've had, or some time we've spent like our time in school, and it's like it's nothing overly controversial or political or deep, I don't even think the word AI is said once in that episode. It's one of those things just like, yeah, like if I'm on an episode with someone and we end up talking about politics or something controversial, it's like, okay, that's fine. But I never made this to like force that on people. Like I don't bring people on. It's like, okay, make sure you study up on the recent political events
Yeah,
of the world or some bullshit. It's like we're having fun, and
yeah, that's great.
that's kind of what I want to do here. I want to collaborate with artists and have fun with them.
You're doing a great thing for sure. And
Thank you.
yeah, I get you. Like researching is a part of like that podcast because it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has to be in the same page.
Yeah, not this one though.
Uh, Not this one though. Like
Not
we
this
can
one.
be drawing the same page, but we are having our own fun.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't need to know every recent controversy that's come out to have a good time, and I don't think people listening need to hear that every second of their lives.
Ooh.
So if you're listening to this, you know, and you're drawing, you're doing a great job, by the way. Keep going. I believe in you. And also, um, if you decide to come on Spice Cabinet, if you're not caught up on every little political party action that's happening in the United States of America, I won't let you on.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
It's great fun, man. Listening to it's great fun. Like that Pooh episode was so good.
Yeah, we had a lot. Me and my buddy Justin had a lot of fun on that. Um, and there's plenty more of super fun episodes to come out. For those of you watching, this will be pretty old news because these are recorded pretty far in advance to when they're actually put out on the internet. But you know,
Yeah. Okay. This is a great drawing program too. Like
it's
I'm
great.
really enjoying the simplicity of it. Like you can get so complicated with Clip Studio Paint. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way with. I think I'm naturally just like I'm drawn to this because Procreate's pretty simple in its layout and interface. Like this has way more buttons and stuff on screen than Procreate does, and that's like a $20 app. But
Oh, you have to pay for Procreate?
it's one time though. You pay $20 once and you have it. Well, however much it costs now, and you have it forever. So you never have to. So I highly recommend it if you get an iPad. Procreate's it's cheap. Just need to pay that
It's on
one
my
time.
list.
Yeah.
It's on my list, yeah, for sure. I am not kind of well, I kind of became an Apple user coming to the US,
Mm-hmm.
but I am really looking forward to get my own like little tablet of madness.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I really like the Procreate. Oh jeez. Okay. Well, I think I've designed my monster.
I just want to put a head on mine.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait just a little bit, I'll be done in a second.
Yeah.
In the meantime, why don't you tell us about these skinny dudes?
Yeah, so for my monster, I don't have a name for him, but he's like sort of like a mimic type. And they are fake overhead lanterns or fake like chandeliers. So like I drew a little second image of him where he's like hanging upside down from the ceiling and his head and like he hides in the darkness, but his head acts as like a fake chandelier, a fake light source. And then when
Ooh.
unsuspecting adventurers walk under him, he just lets go of the ceiling from his feet and drops down on top of them using that little spike on his head.
Oh,
And if that doesn't kill him, he's got a little dagger kind of like made out of his own little like metal arms. And he uses that to fight.
he's really cool.
Thank you.
He will be an annoying monster to face, and that's
Yeah,
a compliment on the Dark Souls
this
thing.
I was thinking like this would absolutely be one of those fucking Dark Souls enemies that just hang around the corner and you walk through and it's just like those fucking bitch asses that like pop out to hit you while you're
And
unsuspectingly
Orlando
moving.
flashbacks.
Yep, I'm out of flasks. I haven't gotten my souls yet, and then that fucker takes me out. That's how it is.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be like that. It's done but not finished.
All right. Well,
Here
let's
we go.
see what you got. Okay, nice. The guy on the left looks like the Athenian enemies from God of War, if you've ever played those games.
Love those games.
Yeah, looks like
Oh, I remember. Like,
yeah, like sort of the undead soldiers you fight in God of War in the original three games.
right?
Yeah.
I was, yeah, going for like a gladiator vibe.
I can see that for sure. With the he's got his trident, and his sort of like Spartan-esque helmet.
Yeah, so these guys are kind of like a package deal, kind of like Ornstein and Smog.
Yeah.
Not as bosses, but as mini bosses. Maybe
Mhm.
this is like their lunch. It's their lunch. Just a big fish.
Mhm.
They fish them together. They're co-workers.
So they work together. You've got. It looks like you've got the guy on the right. He's a little more brawny.
Yeah.
He looks like he's the heavy hitter, and the other guy's, like you said, Ornstein and Smo. The other guy's Ornstein. It's a little faster. I like that.
Yeah, I'm done with these guys.
Nice. They look like after a fresh day of killing players. They go and they have a snack. They go get a coffee, have a drink.
They're good friends. Good friends.
Yeah, they look like good pals.
Co-workers.
Your coworkers.
Nothing better than somebody who's in cahoots with you. That's the closest thing. That's the closest human connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What next? Do we have time for another drawing?
Yeah, we got time. Probably one more is good. And
yeah.
If
your drawing is so cool.
Thank you.
Whoa. Yeah, the whole concept is on it.
Thank you.
He looks really annoying to play against with.
Yep.
Great job. Great job.
Yep. Thank you. So, do you have another topic in mind, or do we just want to keep going off of the dungeon monsters? Or how about this? How about instead of dungeon monsters, we design an adventure that would go in the dungeon.
Oh yeah, that sounds so fun.
Yeah. So
let's go with it.
I'll take this little section over here, and I guess you can take the section in between your monsters. Yeah, over there. If you want, you can. You know what? I'll move mine a little bit so they're a little bit out of your way. Oh Jesus. There we go.
It's okay. I'm going to resize mine a little bit too. What can we do? But you guys here.
Yeah, there we go.
Just their lunch. Just their lunch.
There we go.
Smaller. Yeah. I really see you practice your line art a lot.
Thank you. Line art is what I love to do. You know, probably because of my early fascination with like comics and manga, and so like, you know, I've told this story before, but like my catalyst, like what got me into making comics, was a comic called Kings of Nowhere, created by Sarush Berzesh. On like socials, he's known as Coterie Inc. And when I saw his work, I was like, oh, I want to fucking do that. And
ooh,
yeah,
I am Googling as we speak.
Yeah, he posts a lot of his work on Instagram regularly, but his line work is next. Like I use his brushes that he created for Procreate for my comic. Like pretty much all the work I do with the brushes he made, because something about them just vibes with me and connects with me. And I've been using.
It has a pilot.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Good stuff. But yeah, I saw his work, and then like I was like, damn, I want to do line work. And ever since then, I've just kind of always focused on improving my line work. And
it shows.
Thank you. Appreciate
it shows. It's great. I'm going to look a lot into it.
Yeah. It's definitely like anything. It's just a lot of experimenting and practicing with what kind of sort of how you want to use the line work. There's definitely a lot of different artists to pull from. You could go like a Mike Mignola route, Magnolia, whatever.
Yeah, I know the creator of Hellboy.
Yeah, you could go like his route of like super thick, heavy line work covering most of the panel and ink, or you could go something like, you know, Boichi, you know, and go his route where it's just like really meticulous hatching. It's just a matter of what vibes with you more. And I think I'm somewhere in kind of between. Like, I like a lot of hatching, but in my comic, you'll see a lot of pages that have a lot of thick, just blocks of ink to create form and shape.
I'm really vibe with it. I love line art. Whenever you see like a page that somebody has obviously put hours of thought and hours on making it, I really get so into it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I have so many. I have a drawing folder with thousands of comic and manga stuff in there, and just general artwork I find. And when I see one where it's like you can tell so much work was put into it, it's like that's going to that folder, so I can look at that later.
I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to really start doing that because I don't really actually have that much experience drawing.
Really? It doesn't show, because you've got some really neat stuff here. Like when I look at, you know, your dungeon enemies, is like that's damn good stuff. How long have you been drawing?
I've drawn all my life, but just 7 months since I moved here to the States, and I could not find work because that's a whole another thing.
Yeah.
Then I thought, well, I'm going to do this full time.
Yeah,
and it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it definitely your practice shows, because like you've got really good concepts, and you're able to get them out quickly, which is really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I've been practicing. I want to do this my new life work.
Nice.
But yeah, no, before that I was just like drawing on my free time, and I drew a lot in high school, but college kind of full-time job, you know.
Yeah.
No time for that.
For sure.
No time.
I get it. Right now I'm in my final semester of college, and I'll be graduating soon, so I'll be out actually trying to find a job soon, like my own real career job. So
you'll do great. Don't worry about it. You'll do great. Everyone just finds its place. So if it's not, you know, too much information, what's your major?
No, it's not. I've said it before. I'm majoring in graphic design and digital media.
No, you got it.
Thank you.
You really got it.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time creating art.
Oh, for sure. Definitely gonna focus in trying to get some kind of illustration job. Focus in that, because I don't know if you could tell, it's kind of what I like to do.
I could never imagine.
Yeah, I know. The people say all the time, it's like, what, you want to draw stuff? Like, I never thought about that from you. I never thought that would be something you're into.
Yeah, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about that before. Like, that's a thing I know Japanese people do, and that really boosts their creativity because they have a manga industry. They consume things made in their own country.
Yeah, for sure.
And like Shonen Jump has become such a big thing because they have like this tradition of uplifting artists. That's just how things go. And yeah, I think like if I could hire myself to do my own mangas, maybe I would like have to eat shit a little bit. Like just it would take some time to get the ball running, but if I have the possibility of self-employment, I would take that over a boss any day.
Oh yeah, I think most people would. You know, obviously this is what I would love to do full time. If I could make a living making my comic, and then in my free time, you know, making YouTube videos with people and collaborating with artists, like this is definitely the life I want to live.
those nights alone, yeah, they're kind of romantic. The hour of the witches always gets me so much energy.
Oh, for
My
sure.
best drawings are like at the wee hours of the morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I
draw
think,
a lot of my favorite stuff that I draw is usually done like early morning or late night. Just you hit that time of the day where there's nothing to distract you, nothing to get in your way.
it has a power up.
Mm-hmm.
It really has a power up. But yeah, I mean, if here in the US we could like have our own Shonen Jump, I would buy it monthly.
Yeah, I think now there's a lot more indie stuff coming out. There's I don't know where what part of the US you're in, but there's in my I'm in Jacksonville, and it's not a city known for its super huge art culture, but there is an art culture that exists. Like I know there's a big zine culture here in in, in my part of the states, and my library has one of the biggest public zine connections in the states. So uh, there's something for it. So yeah, there might be some kind of small publishing thing in your area of the states. It's just a matter of maybe finding it, looking for it. You never know.
Go for it. Go for it. If you
Yeah.
can't go for it, I think scenes are great.
Yeah, zines are awesome. Zines are, I mean, they're zines can. What I love about them is that they can be whatever the hell you want,
Yeah.
and nobody can tell you it's not a zine or what you did isn't part of zine culture. It's like because it doesn't really have a distinct culture anymore. Like zines used to be sort of like this underground grungy thing, but nowadays, now that it's become a little more mainstream, it's kind of just whatever you want it to be, and
Yeah.
it's low bar of entry. That's what I love about comics and zines in general. Is like, to get into filmmaking, there's a lot of technical stuff you need to learn about cameras, and you need actors, and you need sets, and you need all these places to actually film. But with comics and zines, if you've got a pen and paper, you can make one. Nothing's stopping you from making one. It can be damn good too. It just depends on.
Yeah.
It's all about execution.
Yeah. And that's such a plus. I mean, a con of it, you could say that being like such an alternative medium, it has a requirement for entry, but for the consumers.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to be like a little bit of an indie underground bitch to
Yeah,
get into the scenes in the first place,
for sure.
and that can limit you.
Mm-hmm.
And as a creator, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm really excited to that transformation that's happening. I would really love into the next years, like maybe if here, like a comic distribution in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, yeah, kind of like Webtoon tried to, but having the thing on paper, that's so much better. As a collector.
It's a different experience reading
Yeah.
reading a story someone made in a physical book put together for you to like you could take it anywhere and just open it up. Like it's a different experience, and it feels different reading it. Like it feels more, you feel more of a connection to it rather than like reading it through your phone or something. um, which is why I can't wait to print the first volume of my comic because
I'll buy it.
thank you,
I
thank
will
you.
fucking buy it.
It's getting there. It's getting near the end. I'm about 160 pages into it, and
Whoa.
yeah, with the trajectory it's at, it'll definitely be over 200 pages by the time the first volume's done. And after it's finished and like fully edited and stuff, because I do want to go back and edit some of the earlier pages and artwork so it's a little more consistent. Then I'm gonna try and get it published however I can.
Go get it, man.
Yeah.
Go get it. I'm really looking forward to it. One day I hope to get like a physical copy in my own library.
Well, one day I hope to make that happen. Whether it's it's through a publisher or I find a way to self-publish, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, do it, man, do it. Have it as a dream. Just my own paper bound copy.
Well, if it happens, you'll know about it. I'll make sure to
For sure.
I'll make sure to let everybody know it's happening.
Yeah, I'm going to keep on the loop, so just maybe I won't be like the first person, but I'm going to be
Oh,
one
that's
of the
fine. That's
first one.
fine. No, I don't pressure anybody to buy it or even read the comic. Like, I have personal friends of mine who, you know, they support they like that I'm working on stuff, but I'm making a comic that's not a genre they're interested in. So it's like, that's fine. You don't gotta read it. It's not a
No,
big
it's
deal.
okay. I like your stuff, and I like the genre you're in.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Uh, definitely a lot of fun. Excited. I'm excited to see what you create too with your sci-fi stuff. See where that's gonna go.
Oh man, I really hope to get the gumption for it. Yeah, it's one plan. At the end of the year, I hope to be deep into it, like
Nice.
really say I'm over the 100 pages like you are. You are at the point where I want to be.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, over 100 pages a year is definitely a lot, but it can absolutely be done. It took me. I started working on it in September 2021, so it took me a while. Took me about
Oh well, yeah.
took me about 2.5 years to get to my page count, but my process isn't the same as other people's. There are some people who can knock out 100 pages in like 6 months, um, and I hope to get to that level of speed one day.
Yeah, because that's like the industry production. But yeah, don't overkill yourself.
Oh
You're
yeah,
doing great.
thank
Yeah,
you.
maybe not 100 pages in a year, but have this story out.
For sure.
That's like my one goal.
Yeah, that's I think the more healthy way of doing it. Um,
Yeah.
it's easy to get swept up under like the pressure of like really professional like huge artists, and easy to forget that at one point they were beginners too. So you kind of try to like force yourself to be on their level when it's just not really healthy or feasible. You just gotta work at
Mm-hmm.
you just gotta work at a pace that works for you, even if that pace is slower than other people. It's like the end of the day, if the work's really good, it'll pay off.
For sure. And that's one thing I like. Maybe I started with like bit of an unrealistic expectation, but it's called 1 hour plus because I thought, well, maybe I can do 1 hour of comics every day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the goal. That's the end goal. That's the dream. That's
Yeah,
why I put it on the title.
yeah,
But right now I kind of stopped for a while because I'm searching for a job to support myself.
yeah. No, of course that you know
Yeah.
it's times are tough for everybody. So
For sure.
so
It's okay. It's okay. Take your own time. Art happens when it has to happen.
mm-hmm.
And we need art to happen. Like that's a self identification tool too.
Yeah.
So this little girl is going to be kind of like a rogue character.
Okay. My guy's kind of like a ranger.
She kind of reminds me of my sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she is kind of Pokey's rogue. We were telling, we are three siblings. I'm the oldest one.
You're the oldest.
Yeah.
Nice. I have two brothers. I'm the middle child.
That's cute. Yeah, we don't really have that much difference between ourselves. So I'm 28, my sister is 27, and my youngest brother is just 25.
Oh wow. Yeah, y'all have a much closer age gap. My older brother's 10 years older than me. He's
Practically different generations.
yeah, he's 31. I'm 22. My little brother's 5 years younger than me. So there's pretty big age gaps between us, but we get along really well.
That's great.
We, like any siblings, we get into arguments and shit, but it's usually over dumb petty stuff that we get over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, that's great. I mean, sibling energy is great.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have like such a big difference, you can really like set yourself into the role, right? The
Yeah.
the oldest brother is the oldest brother, and
Yeah.
he has like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that hasn't happened with us.
No, because
I'm
y'all
the
are so
oldest.
close. It's like you're the oldest, but you know she's not that far behind. So it's like you don't have to pay for like every meal.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's what happens here in my household. Like we are kind of more like twins.
Mm,
Maybe the youngest one feels a little left alone sometimes, but we always play together. We've always have,
that's
right?
good. Yeah.
And last time we saw each other, we said like, "Hey, we're kind of like the Powerpuff Girls, but you're not Blossom, you're Bubbles." Yes, I am Bubbles. Yeah, and yeah, no sibling dynamics. That's great.
Yeah.
If you can write effective siblings, you have a whole party for yourself. So write more stories about siblings.
For sure. Siblings are. It's always funny watching people who've never had siblings write sibling
Right?
characters. It's like, oh come on, they don't act like that.
That
I
doesn't
have
happen.
not seen a single middle finger to one another this entire story between these two siblings, and that
Unrealistic.
makes zero sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I got her story already. Maybe she needs to be done her look. Just barefoot. Oh no, wait, we are going to attract the food fetishists again.
Just draw whatever. There's nothing you can do about them.
They're going to happen. It's
It's
impossible for
they're
them not
they're inevitable. You fucking freak. Yeah, you fucking
to
freak. I'm talking to you, watching you little foot toe sucking lover. I know you're there. You little
happen.
freakazoid.
This is for you, my man. This is for you.
We're doing this just for you. He hasn't. Whoever's watching, they haven't seen it yet because I haven't looked at what you're making just yet. But once they will, they're gonna fucking explode.
Okay, that's an enthusiastic response. I hope you don't explode literally. Oh my god, I love dungeon crawlers.
Yeah, they're
You can
fun.
always like get so much into it for an exploration in character. Like, haven't you had that experience when you create a character and you become more and more of it?
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely me when I play any game where I can make my character and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
I want to see them succeed.
Yeah, that's the beauty of tabletop and RPG games in general.
Hmm.
Such a rogue character. I'm going to send this to my sister. I know she loves rogue little rogue ladies.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking of her. Really hope she gets a kick out of this.
I'm sure she will. You for your comic, you plan on doing like sort of just little cameos of your family or friends or something?
Oh yeah, I think if you're a creator and you can like put your friends, you should put your friends.
That's how I've done that already with the comic. There's some background characters that are like based off of my real life friends or their own OCs.
Mm-hmm.
I found a way to incorporate both of my brothers into the story, so it's a lot of fun to just put them in there, and they get to see that when you're done with it.
They're gonna live forever in that way, and yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. The protagonist character actually, Rudy,
Hmm.
it's kind of based in this same sister.
Hmm.
Maybe that's a spoiler, but yeah, no, she already knows.
Mm.
She already knows.
Nice.
And even oh yeah, art always imitates life.
Yeah, for sure.
But what other kind of characters have you like? This character in your work really reminds me of that person.
Hmm.
Have you had that inspiration moment of, yeah, no, you're going into it. You're going into it.
Yeah, there was like for I guess for examples like my brothers, like my older brother, he loves film. He loves filmmaking and writing for movies and all that stuff. That's what he wants to do. And my little brother loves working on cars,
Oh,
and that's he loved me and my little brother both drive like very old cars, like from the 80s.
those are classics.
Oh yeah, I have an '88 Supra, and my little brother has an '89 MR2, um, and he loves working on them. I don't really know much about working on cars. Uh, I just like driving cool cars, but my little brother he can take apart his entire car and put it back together. So like the natural thing is like, well, I put my little brother in the story as like a mechanic, and my older
Mhm.
brother, I put him in the story as like a military drone operator. It's like
Oh,
that's about as close as I can get to like incorporating a filmmaker into the type of story I'm trying to tell.
yeah.
So, and I've got another buddy of mine who owns a restaurant in my town. So it's like, well, I'm gonna put him in as a cook on a military base, like just sort of like finding ways. Like it's not even finding. It's just like I need a character in this role. It's like, well, I've got someone like that in my life. I might as well just make the character based off of them because they already
You're going to
exist.
have a cameo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that inspiration stuff.
Yeah,
Really.
and I do the same thing with like a bunch of my other friends, because I play D&D, and my first D&D campaign I ever played was last year, beginning of last year, or maybe even end of 2022. I forgot when, but it was recent. I'm more of a newish D&D player. I've only been doing it for about a year and a half, and I loved it so much, and I had such a great time that I found the way to write in my entire D&D party in the story as like Chimera, which are the monster characters in my story.
Mm-hmm.
So lot of interesting ways to get interesting sort of characters and concepts in your story that are just based off of things in your life.
Yeah. That is derivative. That's the reason. Yeah, it's a memory, organ of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's derivative. So whenever you see like somebody making a very specific character trope, it had to have an impact on the creator.
Say it one more time.
If you see something, anything in art, you see detail in it. It has captured the attention of the creator before,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a testament to it. Like maybe art creates itself every time it's observed, it's watched, it's experimented. But the fact that somebody pay attention to it and really put their own soul into it, even if it's the foot fetishist things. Somebody looked at that feet for hours.
Somebody looks at that foot. They pause the video as soon as I when I put that camera on. Like I still haven't looked at what you've drawn yet. So when I do, they're gonna pause that video for hours.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was just the example I had on top of my head.
We're blue balling them over here.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, whenever you got your Patreon.
Yeah, I've got exclusive foot stuff on my Patreon. I don't. I just want their money.
Yeah, subscribe to Patreon.
Subscribe to my Patreon. You get exclusive early access content.
I love it. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm done with her.
Alright. I'm about to finish up my gal as well. I'm just drawing her without all of her stuff on her face.
She's just fighting for it. I know she's having like a hard time in the dungeon, but she's fine. Now I send a little thing.
Alright. There's mine. I'm gonna name her Lymphy. Her name's Lymphy. Okay, she's fucking cool.
Oh yeah, I'm going to name her too.
Let me look over at what you made. Whoa! Hell yeah!
Oh, oh. She's kind of like Tanya the Evil. What's
Ah,
it
yeah,
called?
yeah. Tanya the Evil. I love that show.
World War I kind of
Yeah,
core.
yeah. She's kind of like a ranger, I guess, artificer. She instead of she doesn't use bows or anything. She just uses guns. Um, kind of had the idea of like World War I British soldiers with their big like pan helmets because I just like the way it looks.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love those too.
that's Limpy and what's that say Melly?
Melly, like Melly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she looks fucking dope. Yeah, definitely you definitely nailed that rogue aspect to her. She looks cool as hell.
yeah. She's just having a bad
Yeah,
time.
both of ours kind of look like they're just like fucking tired. Like Limpy is
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. Fuck.
When's my next meal?
When's my next? I just want to get paid. I don't want to do this anymore. That's
End of the month, I'm
yeah.
going drunk. I'm going in a binder.
Yeah. At the end of every day job, she drinks herself to sleep. That's Limpy's fucking life.
They go to drinks together.
Yeah.
They for sure go
They
to
look
drinks.
like they'd be buddies. They both look like they're about
Yeah.
3.5 feet tall.
Life stuff for us shorties. Thank you. I had so much fun drawing today.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. Thank you for coming on. Had a lot of fun talking to you about all this stuff about art and media. Could talk endlessly about the shit that goes on with that. But yeah, seriously, thank you for coming on. Had a super fun time. Before we go, make sure you tell everybody again who you are, what you're doing, what projects they should be keeping an eye on.
Sure, I'm going to plaster it here.
Go ahead.
PanelaDaddy. It's PanelaDaddy everywhere. Panela, it's sugarcane compresses. So back in Colombia,
Yeah.
if you didn't have the money for sugar, you got panela.
Okay.
And I would love to be everybody's sugar daddy, but I don't have the cash right now. Subscribe to Patreon.
There you go. Subscribe to his Patreon, and then
It's
he'll.
PanelaDaddy everywhere.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put all your links in the description, so everyone will have those. Make sure you go follow his work. Go check out his webtoon, 1 hour plus, and keep a close eye on his future comic that he has in development. I'm very, for one, excited to see what you make.
Yeah, it's Auto Soul. It's coming out soon. I hope to get it so soon for you people, but I'm really taking my time into making it
Good.
as pretty as I vision it.
Good. Yeah, take your time with it. Make it as good as it can be. It's the way to go.
Thank you so much.
Yep. But again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, PanelaDaddy, for coming on. I had a wonderful time. And that's it. That's this episode of Spice Cabinet. Goodbye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.